as we play the Minesweeper game, we realize that a bunch of numbers keep appearing on the screen on the game board. In fact, these are the clues that the board is giving us, or let's say the game is giving us, which will help us to locate all the mines. Let's spend some time trying to understand what these clues mean, how they look, and how we can use them effectively to, let's say, solve the puzzle. Now let's take some examples here. Let's say a square here. Let's say, for example, this square tells me 1. Now what this means is that, look, this is a central square. It has got 8 neighbors which have been shaded as blue. The fact that 1 is written here, it means that exactly 1 out of these squares is a mine. This square here is an edge square. It tells me 3. It has got 5 neighbors shaded red. Exactly 3 out of these 5 are actually mines. Likewise, this corner square, it has got 3 neighbors. 2 out of these 3 are in fact mines. Now let's try to see how we can use this. Basically, the main usage comes in when the field opens up. When we click on a square that doesn't have any neighbors that are mines, the entire field opens up, as we saw. Now this is where it starts to get very, very useful. Look at this corner. It tells me 1 1 1 here. Now this must be a mine because, for example, this cell has one mine in all its neighbors. Now 4 neighbors have already been exposed. This must be a mine. We can argue the same way for this or this. In fact, this is a mine. Now, knowing that this is a mine, we can tell immediately that this is not a mine because, again, look at this one over here. It has, as we discussed, 8 neighbors, 8 neighbors, but out of the 8, 6 have already been exposed. 1 is a mine, we know that, which means this one cannot be a mine. Similarly, if we look at, let's say, this corner over here, this square must be a mine because notice this is a 1 over here. In fact, we can argue that both of these must be a mine. Reason being, look at this 2 over here. It basically tells me that, look, in the 8 neighbors of this cell, 2 have to be mine. 6 have already been opened up. 2 remain, and those 2 must be mines. In fact, as a consequence, I will immediately know that this particular square cannot be a mine. Reason is, look at it from here. This particular square tells me 1, which means that this is here a mine. Which means that from this square's point of view, mine here, mine here, mine here, this cannot be a mine. And that's how the game can proceed. Very interesting. Now we will follow a similar, let's say, color scheme. Let's say I randomly click on the square. Now the field opens up quite nicely for me. I know that this here is a mine because, again, 1 1 1 in a corner, really easy to solve. This is a mine. Now given that this is a mine and this square is a 1, I know that this is not a mine. I know this is not a mine. Again, given that this is a mine, this is a 1. In fact, I know none of these 4 is a mine because from this square's point of view, there's only one mine amongst all this, and I know this is the mine. So I can go and comfortably open up other things. Look at this now. I have got this square. For me, this here must be a mine. So I'm not going to touch it. But given that this is a mine, this is not a mine. This is not a mine because, again, I can look at this neighborhood. I can look at this neighborhood. Now I know that this is a mine. I know that this cell has 3, which means that I must have these 3 as mine. So likewise, we can keep going. Obviously, sometimes you may still have to guess, but you can clearly see that these numbers are helping us. In fact, we must use them properly to have an engaging gameplay and not randomly guess. Just as a closing note, notice that these numbers can go from 1, 2, 3 all the way until 8 because in a very rare scenario, it's possible that all the 8 neighbors of this are mine. But the moment I get an 8, then the problem is almost solved because I know each one of them is mine. So that's very unlikely. And as Minesweeper game goes, we use a different color for all these numbers. We'll see all of this as we move forward. But I hope you found this interesting. As always, this is all a part of the YBytes Python curriculum, which is available at www.ybyte.in. We learn Python programming by building fun activities, analyzing our code in detail, and working in a step-by-step manner. Look at our website to find more details. Take care. Enjoy programming.